Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory, episode 14, the end of the season. My name's John, I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
So, Dan, it was a anti-climax to the season.
Oh.
The noise of an anti-climax there for you, listeners.
Yeah.
Morecambe did what they had to do.
They kept up their end of the deal.
Thanks to your mate Kevin Ellison.
Kev didn't play much of a part in the goal scoring, I don't think. I'm not
Still.
sure he's even on the pitch.
Well, anyway, thanks, Kev. But we couldn't do it.
I was enjoying all that from the big man, Voldemort.
So, listeners, if you missed this, Exeter City drew 0-0 with Forest Green Rovers, meaning that Newport County's point they gained against Morecambe was enough to put them into the final playoff place. City ultimately finished 9th.
Yeah, behind Colchester as well, who managed to score 3 against Lincoln.
Yeah, which goes back to your original statement about Lincoln, a bunch of slugs.
Oh, slugs, yeah. Yeah. That sort of goes for anyone we're playing, really, or not. Any of the other teams in the league.
I'd like to blame the Cowley brothers, who clearly...
They're a couple of slugs.
They had their mind on their deck chairs. Deck chair for 2. Cowley brothers got set up on Wisbeach Beach.
Where's that?
Somewhere near Lincoln, I'd imagine.
Is there a beach near there?
Yeah, well, no, not really. But, if you go to the coast, obviously. Yeah. Anyway, they were there. So, Colchester won. Newport got a point. The damage was already done.
Whatever. These are they are now long forgotten irrelevances.
Much like the first 13 episodes of our podcast, where we talked up, listeners, how City were surely set for at least a playoff appointment.
Well, we went back and forth, like very reactionary.
That's us to a T.
So sort of every time we'd win, I think we were going, well, we're right back in it. And every time we lose, it's like, oh, we're never going to make it out of this league.
I'd like to think we give a true reflection of Exeter City supporters' emotions.
Yeah, well, it's an emotional response. We're not claiming to be, we're not zonal marking Michael Cox.
No, we're not brought in from Opta stats, are we? No. Neither are we old pros. Neither it's podcasting nor football. So you get what you get with us, which was sometimes prediction for playoffs and other times was not. You might note that my other prediction that we would surely play MK also went awry. Tisdale's Swines got promotion themselves. So off they go. See you later.
They finished second in the end, didn't they?
Good Lord.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
and, I did see somebody, don't know who you are, calling for Exeter City to make an official announcement of congratulations to former manager Paul Tisdale, which obviously is one of the most ridiculous things I've heard this year, and there's been many.
Did someone actually say that?
Yeah.
On the internet?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
An official pronouncement of congratulations.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I'd even want to do it if Ethan Ampadu won the league with Chelsea, although I get that. Maybe that would work. Or maybe I just want to kind of point out that we had a part to play in his success. But your old manager going to a league rival...
Yeah.
Do me a favour.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, so he's gone. See you later. We'll never see him again.
Well, bit of a relief, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. We can focus on playing other teams that have got relegated from League One, none of which I know the names of. So...
No, bunch of sort of nobodies, really, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it? You think these teams coming down from League One we might have heard of.
We'll come on to that. Shall we talk about the match?
Well, I guess we can.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay, so...
Neither of us made the trip, did we?
No, but 1,200 City fans did.
Yeah.
We were too slow.
Great effort. I was actually too slow. I had the tickets in the basket, just waiting for that lift to be confirmed. Never came in. Cheers, Rich. And then it was sold out. So anyway, you got to get in there quick. I mean, that's a lesson to us all.
And well done to those 1,200 who did. And it seems to me like that game was really boiled down the epitome of the whole season. A lot of endeavour most of the time. People carving out things who maybe it wasn't their job to carve out things, but they seemed like they had to. And ultimately, no fruit in front of goal.
No. Not even single grape.
And we went essentially from a man who had a kind of, in the style of an African woman, a basket made out of fruit for his hat, Jaden Stockley,
Yeah.
to, no grapes.
I've actually seen him wearing one of them and down double up.
Yeah, well, sure. That's the secret to his success. Builds up the neck muscles.
Yeah, I think that's about it. It's there's plenty to be said about the season as a whole. There's plenty of caveats, but really it's come down to, I think, amongst other things, but that we just haven't been able to put the ball in the net.
No,
on too many occasions.
Yeah.
Like we haven't been able to score goals when they've been right there. I'm not talking about the games where we've been well beaten, but there's been so many games where we're just we've done everything else and we've dominated the game, or we've been easily the better side, but we've just can't get the ball in the net. And just as as fate would have it, just as Ryan Bowman starts scoring, the one game he actually really not the one game because they were all important too, but when it really, really mattered and all we needed was one goal, he couldn't come up with it.
No.
And it's not like he didn't have the chances.
No, and that's a shame. I don't want to put this all on Bowman because I just think
absolutely not.
The system isn't really set up for goals from anywhere else, is it?
But that chance from outside the box, you got to hit the target there, right? Yeah, you actually have to.
Indeed, so.
Because my nan could have scored that. To borrow an old phrase.
Yeah, and she's got quite a few in the National League South, I believe, this year.
Got a couple.
Yeah, for Fylde FC. Anyway, so that was the game. I mean, I think there were a couple of other things going on, kind of subtext or sub-stories, one of which was, of course, we've missed, on occasions, the ability for people to just kind of walk through, to stop people walking through our midfield.
Are you referring to the presence of Lloyd James?
I am referring to the presence of Lloyd James, who had a really good game for Forest Green and had a really good game when Forest Green came to St James Park earlier in the season, and people were very pleased to see him go. Not all of us, but some people were really pleased to see him go. Actually, he was one of the kind of missing kind of players or style of players. I'm not saying he was necessarily the one, but that was kind of...
And perhaps in that game, it was probably one of the least times we needed him because Forest Green B, wasn't it, essentially, that we couldn't beat. But, there's been times, when we maybe have missed some of his kind of endeavour and, the things that he could do well. However, I mean, at the same time, I don't think we've missed that as much as the ability to get goals from different places in the team or get goals at all. Yeah. And Lloyd James is not a man for a goal.
No, indeed he's not. And fine, that's kind of by the by. If I was to flag up where I think it went wrong, and I think Forest Green again was not to be like the old boy who stands near us, but putting it in the mixer, as they say. It's not like it's a lost art, and I'm not saying that's the answer to everything, but this is League Two, and we're not Ajax, who can just wait and wait and wait. We don't have the time, we don't have the skill to wait and wait and wait and hold. Sometimes you just got to make the decision. It might be the wrong decision, but I think on occasion City have come up as trapped between the decisions they could make.
Right.
I've kind of seen that. We've all seen it this season, particularly post-Christmas, where fear of putting the wrong ball in has led to putting no ball in at all. Yeah,
well, I remember they did say on the commentary, I listened on the radio, and that it looked like every player on the Forest Green 11 was 6 foot plus. And we just don't have any, we haven't got any big boys.
No, we haven't, but also we used to really be good at lashing in balls from, hard and low in. I haven't seen any of those kind of crosses in a long time. We've got fast players. And, of course, Williams didn't even start the game, did he?
Yeah, I think that probably didn't, didn't help us. It looked like the writing was on the wall, didn't it? When, he's looked so good in the last couple of games, and it really could have made a difference probably. But, I mean, who knows? Like we said, we had the same feelings about Ryan Bowman, 5-5, and then then he couldn't do it. So,
yeah.
Maybe it's all irrelevant. I think ultimately, as much as it did literally come down to one goal that we couldn't get, that would have got us in those playoff places, it's a longer story than that, really, and it does go for the whole season.
Absolutely.
That we can.
Because of course it was so close.
Points on the board.
So close. We can think of all the listeners can think of at least 10 games where if we just got the draw or if we just got the win instead of the draw.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the league looks totally
There's so
different.
many examples that are not even really worth mentioning because there's just so many of them.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's all like what ifs, isn't it? Ultimately, I think we're where we deserve to be. Like, even if you are taking into account sort of decisions that have gone against us, of which there are, you know, several, which are significant ones, I still think probably there hasn't been that many.
No.
Glaring ones.
No.
Pim's sending off being the main one I can think of at the minute, but they go in your favour too.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think it's fair enough. We finished 9th, and that's where we deserve to be. I think
so. So here's a question for you: if Tisdale had stayed, would we be where MK are?
No, I don't think we would. No, I think we'd be about. I think. Who knows? I think it's fine margin. I don't think we've done a huge amount better. I don't think we've got automatics. I think. Well, who knows? It's very difficult to say. A bigger one for me would be if we're talking hypothetically, is if, let's say, Jayden Stockley didn't leave, would we be in the playoff places? I'd say yeah, at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
MK managed to finish second in the end, so yeah.
I mean, there was no form across the board. There was no form. Even Lincoln really faded at the end, and I'm not even counting after they became champions.
Yeah,
so,
no, it was before that, wasn't it? I mean, they couldn't even beat us at home.
No, indeed.
So
there's all that stuff going on. So here's the next question then. Matt Taylor come in, first season, not just at City, but as a manager. It seems like the opinion across the board is good first season.
Well, of course, yeah. Sensible people would agree, I'm sure. But that's a really good first season as a manager.
I've heard, I mean, and this is when you regret looking on the internet, isn't it? But I've heard the odd comment around back to mid-table mediocrity. And I want to say two things about that. One, when did we ever leave mid-table mediocrity?
Oh, yeah.
And also, well, come on now, mid-table mediocrity over hideous relegation scramble every time. We say goodbye to Yeovil, of course. And we may not see them again for a really long time.
Well, look at Notts County.
Yeah,
you see how things. I know there's more to it than that, but you can see how easily things can go from you're all right to you're relegated.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've gone from playoffs to relegation in one season, and it wasn't like some fluke. They never left the relegation zone.
No.
And also, I'd say this about mid-table mediocrity man, the worst superhero in my opinion. Is that it wasn't mid-table mediocrity. We were fighting for the playoffs until the very last minute of the last game.
Well, we spent about, I don't know how many games, only a handful of games even outside of those playoff places.
Yeah, yeah.
And ultimately we didn't finish there, but, you know, you got to judge it on a whole season.
Yeah, we weren't having a season like, I don't know, Morecambe, who were never getting relegated but also never getting promoted. No. We were well in it. So in that sense, I don't see what we could have done. I can see things we could have done better. I don't know what else Taylor could have done in his first season, etc. And I will happily take that as a progressive, forward-thinking, stable football club who, unlike some of our colleagues in the Football League, have actually got a season to look forward to next year. You know, I feel
totally,
like...
Yeah.
And we'll come on to this either today or more likely in another programme. But, you know, it's always good to think, well, we'll be back here in August and we've always got a good chance because the thing we're doing is solid.
Well, definitely. I think it's definitely like a kind of promising position to be in, isn't it? You know, you got like, if he's going to build, you got to give managers time, and that's sort of become one of those things that people just say, but they don't actually mean it.
Yeah.
You got to give him time. And then as soon as it goes like a tiny bit wrong, they're like, get rid of him. You know, no, you actually do have to give him. You have to kind of like take some things, and that's for managers who are just new to a club. He's new to management. It's his first season. I think we've done and we've outdone my expectations, and I think probably most people's expectations. That's what people seem to be happy. Go like, especially the ones who wanted rid of Paul Tisdale.
Yeah.
Well, like, well, you know, first season we'll be like, we'll do probably less well than we have done the last couple of years. Maybe not playoffs and that sort of thing. It's only because he actually exceeded people's expectations, even that there's anything to be disappointed about.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think it's been really good.
Taylor's been giving some interviews. He's been appearing at the cricket. You might have noticed.
I didn't see that.
He's up at Somerset today watching the county championship up there. He loves cricket, doesn't he? By all accounts, Matt Taylor.
I heard that. Yeah.
But the vibe from him is he's really, really disappointed because, of course, it all came really, really close.
Yeah.
And that's been the opinion across the board. So there have been some statements by like O'Shea, who's going back to West Brom, and the statement says as much. And I think there's been interest from other clubs too.
Yeah. Well, all the loan players are gone.
Yes.
As it was always the arrangement.
Indeed,
Whether or not
so.
they come back or not remains to be seen.
I think we'll never see O'Shea again. But
yeah,
but they've
surprised.
been comment from him, gutted. Kane Wilson similarly disappointed not to finish at the playoffs, and I completely understand that. But it really feels like I didn't feel like at any point any of the first team, anyone that played, was not really wanting to do well. And I think that's an interesting place to be, because Tisdale, whether or not it's true, but gave an air sometimes of didn't really matter, which led to conspiracy theorists and so on. But also some of his players gave that kind of impression. Whereas actually, no, we're in a scene now where it feels like they're really disappointed with that. They want to do better. They thought they were going to do better. We'll see what happens. But
yeah. I mean, I think that might be an impression, especially in sort of Tisdale's later years. I'd sort of say earlier on in his career and across the sort of 10 years, like really, the attitude of the team was always good.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But yeah, you're right. Towards the end, and he definitely kind of came across like that sometimes, didn't he? But yeah, I think they've always tried. They've always looked like they've been trying their best, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can really kind of I wouldn't criticise any of the attitudes of any of the players, and all in all, that's like that's how the season. Yeah, I don't know. That's how it ended. So,
yeah,
what are you going to do?
Well, indeed. So, I mean, it will only be, in 6 weeks' time they start playing their friendlies again. So they got a bit of a break.
Yeah, well, it's the first time we've had a break, isn't it, for a couple of years? And I think it's a good thing for Matt Taylor. Obviously, didn't have that last year.
No,
didn't have that last year. We get a full summer.
Yeah. He'll have his eye on people.
Yeah, he's already said that a lot of that work started a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to need some replacements. And should we talk about that? Who's off?
Well, Luke Kroll's announced today he's gone.
Yeah. So Kroll's been released by the club.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? You've always liked him.
Yeah, I think it's a shame. I do think it's a shame, but I'm not surprised. I mean, he's had real trouble with injuries.
And he's had very little playing time.
And I think ultimately that's why he's gone.
Yeah.
Because of the injuries. But I thought when he on occasion he'd like shown like what he could potentially be capable of, like some really good solid performances, I thought. And like there was the away at Fulham in the League Cup earlier on in the season, he was like fantastic. And there's a few other times when I thought there's a glimpse there of the player that I hopefully not that he could have been, but more that he could be potentially, and like if he can keep fit and like a couple of those little bits of skill. Do you remember? I can't remember who it was against, but
yeah,
at St James Park last season, like just like little tricks around the players and stuff. And I know that's only little bits of like flair, but yeah, I did like him. Yeah.
So he's gone. I mean, like we said, the loan players will go, which leaves us with, and we haven't had the retained list.
No,
but leaves us with Aaron Martin to come back into defence. Troy Brown's fitness is gone again.
I think Brown's going.
Do you?
Yeah.
Woodman may be retiring. We don't know.
Yeah, I think Pim's gone, hasn't he? That seems to be the general sort of consensus.
He hasn't signed a new contract. So.
Yeah, and he's out of contract, and I think that's probably happening.
Which would be a big loss. And you notice that Pim made League Two Team of the Year.
Yeah.
and rightly so.
And he gave his gloves away at the end of the game, and it seems pretty
Well,
much.
he's going to need them at his new club, surely.
No, you get furnished with a brand new League One pair of goalie gloves, which are slightly better quality.
No, that's not fair, is it? You think the better your quality of keeper, the less good your gloves needed to be.
Well, that's true. Yeah, in the Premier League, they don't wear gloves at all.
Just put chewing gum on their hands.
Yeah.
Well, good.
But I think he's gone, and so end of an era for that.
Yes.
And we're going to need a new keeper.
Hammond's not the man, I don't think, for that.
Yeah, I don't think he is. Sorry, James. I don't think he is.
And I'm not saying he can't be in the future, but I don't think he could step in as full-time now.
Come back, Bobby.
Paul Jones still on the books?
No. He came back on loan last season, didn't he?
That's right, yeah, okay.
Bobby.
We'll see.
Come back, Bobby.
I mean, that's more of a Tisdale trick, isn't it, to bring someone back for their third spell?
No, second
spell, or second spell, yeah. But I don't know if Taylor will necessarily do that. Taylor might put himself in goal, of course.
I liked him.
Lesnick.
Yeah.
Yeah, as did I. I just don't think it'll happen.
No, it probably won't.
So that's a very depleted defence. That essentially leaves us with Moxie and Sweeney, who I like both, but neither of them had very good seasons.
Yeah,
Moxie's
gone from the sublime to the ridiculous a few times, hasn't he?
Yeah, and vice versa. So
Sweeney's just gone from the ridiculous to the all right.
That's just his playlist.
Yeah, that was just bad.
So that's a defence that needs some work.
No, Sweeney's actually looked really good on occasion as well.
But Aaron Martin in that.
Yeah. Well, what's happened there?
I don't know.
I know some of it's definitely down to fitness and injuries.
Yeah.
Whether there's any more to it than that or not, or I don't know, because at the start of the season he seemed to be almost the first name on the team sheet.
And rightly so. I thought he was really good.
And he was was he Taylor's first signing?
Something like that.
Yeah, and he was at the beginning of the season he was quality, wasn't he?
He was.
And then we just sort of didn't see him again. Even when he's on,
I guess what caught him out, and who knows, we don't know, something might have happened, but I guess what caught him out was him coming back from injury really happened when the defence was in full flow and in great form.
And of course, O'Shea's emergence as, absolute quality player.
And I guess Martin's not anything except a centre-back, is he? So
no.
Maybe Taylor just thought he'd stick with the rigid, rigid kind of arrangement.
Although
anyway,
it's strange, isn't it, that you're getting if he was fit and didn't make the team, that you're not getting in ahead of a player who isn't even a centre back at all, let alone
Indeed.
You being just a centre back.
So we don't know. We'll see what happens there. And then midfield, there's talk obviously of Law, Boateng, both having looks some other plates.
I think Law's under contract, and he
is.
I think.
I mean, I'd take a couple of million for him.
I'd like him to. I'd be gutted if he left.
As would I.
I mean, he's a real kind of bright light in that squad, and sort of symbolises what some of the hope I've got for the team as well.
Okay.
But if Boateng went. I'm not sure on his contract. I think he's under contract. He's not out of contract.
I think Boateng.
If we can get some money for him, I'd bite their hand off.
Yeah.
As long I wouldn't be happy with him going to another League Two team probably. And if he went back to Argyle, I'd be like, he's off the artistic roll call forever. But I'd take some money for him.
Yeah, interesting.
Obviously, great goal and a great player. Seems like a really good bloke. We do look better of him in the team, but I don't know.
Well, let me ask you
Very
this then.
inconsistent.
Has that goal, and by which we're talking about one of the best goals we've ever seen at St James Park, has that goal blinded us to actually a fairly lacklustre season?
Yeah, although he missed a lot of it. But yeah, he does sometimes. He is a frustrating player sometimes, isn't he? And quite inconsistent. If you find, it's not like he's not like Nicky Law, where fair enough, he didn't score that goal, although he did score 10 goals, I think.
Yeah.
So that's 10 times more than Hiram, and fair enough, he didn't get injured, but he turned up in every single game.
Yeah.
And a lot of time it seemed to be like, well, he's the only one doing anything good in this. Not the only one, but he was good every game. He got man of the match about 20 games in a row. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I agree with you about Law.
I think actually probably maybe Boateng might go, and I wouldn't be.
Well, if we got some money for him, which I think we could, there's real scope for improving the midfield with a different kind of player. Someone who really thinks about going forward could really change things. On the wing, I think Randall Williams has really started to show some promise.
Yeah.
Holmes, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I really like him. I like that I was surprised by his taste in country music. I don't know. I think maybe he's got worse over the last couple of seasons.
Well, yeah, I think that's probably about right. I think his fitness has been better this season, I think, than previous ones.
It has. He hasn't had the impact that he used to have.
No, but he's getting on, isn't he?
Yeah,
And,
I guess so.
But from all accounts, he is, not just from that Exeter Living interview. He's very settled down here.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to cost us an arm and a leg,
yeah,
I'd give him another year.
No,
especially with Williams as well. I mean, and then you'd like to think in an ideal world, Randell is the first choice in that position, and Holmes is backup.
That could work.
If that's the situation, then I don't think Holmes has deteriorated to the point where he's no use to us anymore. And if he wanted to stay for another season, I'd say, yeah. He's not asking me, but
isn't he?
If he was,
get in touch,
if
please.
If he was asking me, I'd say yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll let him know. I think Fort's tenure at City's probably come to an end.
Yeah, shame. I wonder if
it never happened for him, did it? Really?
I wonder if that's the end of his football tenure.
I mean, it's just not happened for him. And I was honestly, I know I've said this a lot, but I was excited to see what he could do here because I thought for Notts County he was really good player.
Again, just glimpses, wasn't there, of a good player in there, and
I think he really lacked confidence.
And it's obviously that horrific knee infection, which I didn't actually hear by chance in an interview of Glenn Hoddle that he had an infected knee as well, because I had never heard of it before, but Glenn Hoddle had one, and that kept him out for 2 years.
Right.
And I think it was when he was a bit of a younger man as well. So, it's obviously it's a serious thing. It's not just, turns out, not just a bit of Savlon will sort that out. No. So I was wrong about that one.
Yeah, well,
I'm willing to hold my hands up. But yeah, Jono.
Yeah,
we hardly knew ye.
Indeed so. Matt J is with us, I'm sure, for some time to come, and he's had really moments of real quality.
Yeah.
We've always loved a trier, and
I was actually disappointed not to see him play on Saturday.
Yeah, as was I. He's been at times really, really helpful, and obviously he's quite a curious kind of player, but he doesn't mind getting stuck in. He runs for England. Well, for Exeter, actually.
Yeah. And while he was... And before, you would say he's giving it everything, but
nothing.
You need something back.
Yeah.
It's no good just trying, I mean, because, if all it was about enthusiasm, then, it would be a very different game, wouldn't it? But, we could do it. I mean, not me. I haven't got that anywhere near that sort of level of enthusiasm for anything. But... but he has started to produce. They're not only they were goals, and they were important goals, and they were good goals.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one, who's it against? That one. It's not the one. Not the free kick.
Okay.
Not the volley. The goal at St James's Park. Well, no, maybe it wasn't at St James's Park. The lovely little take, cut inside, and sort of slot into the.
Oh, crumbs!
I think it was away actually. That goal's lovely.
And
that's like real skill.
Yeah.
It's not just, that's not fluke or
no.
So yeah, I hope he stays. I hope he can be more of a part of it next season. And he's not old, is he?
No, he's not. I mean, maybe he could be some kind of attacking midfielder, but if we move on to up front, I know we've got midfielders to talk about as well, but Bowman, as we've said, actually has showed some real promise.
Yeah, he's a vital part of the plan for next season, I think. But
something else has got to happen with him because he's got things he can do, but he can't do them all on his own.
Yeah, well, Donovan Wilson's gone.
Yeah.
Barring something miraculous, seems to be, gone or at least essentially unavailable.
Lee Martin's been great at the points when he's been fit.
Lee Martin as well. I think if he can stay fit, and again, that's why it's good, nice to have a nice long rest for the summer. That he could be really important for us next season, and I'm pleased about that. That looks positive, but yeah, we need to. Donovan's gone and said that, and we do need someone else. We definitely need at least one more striker. Whether or not that we'll sign somebody or we'll use the loan system again, I don't know. But
I wouldn't be surprised at all if Jamie Reid came in. I really wouldn't. I know, he's done well for Torquay, but the opportunity for him to come back, we never really saw him. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know what his situation is, But that could make loads of sense.
There's arguments for it, isn't there? And there's people that will say that he couldn't do it at this level. Obviously, that was a while ago, and there's a great many examples, at least anecdotally, of like people who have proved that those sort of arguments wrong.
Yeah.
You only have to look at Norwood, don't you? Or even Jamie Vardy.
Yeah.
If you want to go to an extreme example, but you know.
You can change, can't you, when you can learn, and he's done really well for Torquay. So we'll see what happens.
There's also, and then I suppose we'll come on to this, but then there's the emerging youth players.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned Collins, who is at the kind of forefront of the emerging youth, isn't he?
Yeah, and although and
there've been moments of real quality from him.
And Tisdale, obviously, he's got to take some credit for that. And he did. Did he play at all before? He did, didn't he? But Taylor's really brought him in and made him a part of that team.
Yeah.
And a really important part, and a good one, I think, and a well impressive Archie Collins. And I think there's others that no one knows this current crop of youth players better than Matt Taylor.
Yes, indeed.
So he'll know what they're capable of. He'll see how much they've improved, and I'm like optimistic about that. I think for next season, there's several names that you can look at and think. They could be part of it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting what happened with Jack Sparks, because he kind of got overtaken by Collins. I know it's a different kind of player, but he showed some real promise under Tisdale, and
that'd be great to see. And then Joel Randall as well.
Yeah,
Ben Seymour. That's another option up front, perhaps. But Seymour's been banging them in.
So maybe that's what we need to do. I mean, we haven't got loads. We know we've got some cash, but maybe the cash. It's such a gamble, isn't it, to go and spend significant money on a transfer player.
Yeah.
Because, that's just, their leg comes off. That's it. That's the end of your money.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But at this point, considering how our season went and how we kind of overachieved, and it's like, okay, maybe this is a better appointment than we thought it was. Maybe this actually was, maybe we got that question right of who is going to be the next manager. Maybe then, he's kind of, I think probably Taylor, if he wants it, has probably earned a bit of money. If he thinks he can get the right person, I'd really be disappointed if the club didn't back him, just for the sake of. Obviously, we don't want to bankrupt the club just to get somebody in, but if there are those funds available, I would like to spend some of the money.
Yeah, I think that's right, and he proved, like, I don't want to say it was 100% success rate with who he's brought in, but actually some of the people he's brought in have been real diamonds.
Yeah.
We'll see. Listeners, we plan to do a overall season review in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll also in that kind of talk our way through, once we know the retained list a bit better, what's going to happen. Maybe there'll be some announcements about new players. I'd imagine, seeing what he did last year and knowing what kind of person he is, I wouldn't be surprised if we know who's coming in as well as who's leaving fairly soon.
I think he will from what he's reading between the lines of what he's kind of said, it's like he's definitely got some targets. He's definitely been working on it. Yeah. And also, if you want to get everyone, I guess now they're all off on holiday for a little while, but they want to get working again, and you want to be able to have, the team that you want for the next season as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that'll start happening pretty quickly, and especially if we know that that some people are leaving.
Yeah. I mean, overall, the season's been, when you think about what the stadium looked like at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
When you think about, we went from, that defeat at Wembley was just misery, wasn't it? And that plum just marching off the tunnel, and we're not yet 12 months from that.
No.
And I'd say this has been actually very solid year.
Lots of progress in the club, especially if you're looking at the club as a whole.
Yeah.
This podcast didn't exist at the start of the season for a start. So you're welcome. And nothing to do with the club. I don't know if we ever pointed that out, by the way. Absolutely
unofficial.
Zero official.
Won't even retweet us.
Status.
Scott Palfrey.
Fair enough. Yeah, they've got to remain impartial, and I like being. We're part of the. We're part of the fan base, aren't we? We're not.
Absolutely.
And as much as it's all of our club. I mean, in a way, you can call it unofficial, but technically we are owners. Are we not?
What other football club owners do their own podcast about what they think about the manager and the players?
Well, probably not many.
Not many.
Although, there's probably some Barcelona ones and stuff in there. And there is a few other fan-owned clubs, but we are,
Barcelona got a football club now.
Yeah, they branched out from basketball.
Yeah, that's good. Well done.
Shuffleboard. But yeah, so in a way, we're more official than
most.
Than most. But we aren't officially.
No, indeed. Well, it's been.
All opinions are our own.
That's true. All opinions are our own.
In case you're worrying, someone was influencing our opinions and putting pressure on us to push certain agendas. Or that Jake Taylor thing, that was all me.
I mean, it's not been taken up yet.
Unwavering support.
Yeah, that's all you. All the jokes have been our own. You're welcome.
Yep.
All the opinions about Exeter, we stand by them. The city as well as the...
Yep.
I mean, we could get into
all
some political
jingles,
stuff here.
All those jingles.
All those jingles
I made
are
them
own.
my iPad.
You'd never know, listeners, but this is an entirely homespun podcast. We record on a glass desk above a jeweller's shop in the middle of town.
Yeah. We have... we've moved from, had this little USB mic at the beginning for episode 1, and now we're using industry standard Shure SM58s.
So,
yeah.
Spice Magic deliver our tea every time we're doing it. They don't actually. We'd like that, please.
Not yet. Come
on. You can get in touch via Twitter. But there you are. That is the Big Bang Theory podcast.
Yeah. We've had we've done this. Essentially, we had one idea, which is just sit here and talk. And that's all the podcast is. So what else are you going to do? But we're still thinking of ways that we can kind of do slightly different things. Maybe next season, we're going to have a full summer rest, which will be nice.
Rejuvenate our football juices.
Yeah, and maybe I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we could do some other things. Maybe we could have some features or something.
You can get in touch if you've got a suggestion for a feature. Actually, we've got one thing to tell you. We know what MySpace is. Sponsor of Ryan Bowman. It comes from Midas, the construction company. Here's my favourite fact about this. Corey got in touch on Twitter. They came up with the name after MySpace, the internet giant.
Bizarre.
They just thought, whatever, carry on. So I like that.
Maybe they were so up to date, they realised that MySpace was a dead format, and they were like, well, they wouldn't be needing it.
It's cutting edge.
No one's going on there anymore.
And we are talking about it, so, kudos to them. But apparently Corey's dad works there. I think I got this right. And so Corey has suggested who they should sponsor every year. So he's made it happen for both Stockley and Bowman. That's fine effort by him.
Well, good shout on both.
I'd like to incorporate, and we haven't talked about this at all, I'd like to see an answer phone facility where people could leave messages about the club, about the podcast, and we could broadcast them. If you think that's a good idea, you can get in touch with us. If you've got any other ideas, we'd like to hear them.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
We're available, of course, on the internet at Big Bang Pod on Twitter, Big Bang Theory Podcast on Facebook, and bigbangpod@gmail.com on email. You can get in touch. You can tell us how we're doing. It's been 14 episodes of pure hilarity and razor-sharp opinions on the ups and downs of the world's greatest football club, Exeter City FC.
Yep, it's been enjoyable.
My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Thanks very much.
We'll see you soon.